Now, we've all been told that mastering our frequency is key to getting what you want in this life. But if you've been on this path for a while, you may be feeling like you can't hold a strong enough frequency for a long enough period of time for anything in my life to change. So in this video, I'm going to show you a common misunderstanding about this concept so that you can begin to rewrite your spiritual operating system and get what you really want, which is a life in alignment with our soul's deepest desires. Now, what we need to understand most is this is an internal game. Let's forget the external reality for now, because as you begin to increase your frequency, well, how are you going to do that? Well, you begin increasing your frequency through practices like sadhana is what we use in the yogic tradition. Sadhana is your daily spiritual practice that increases your energetic frequency. I didn't want any barriers to entry. I didn't want you to think that was marketing. You need it for your path. So if you want to use it, you can join me on my channel. All of that stuff is free on there. But if you want a deeper dive, you can sign up for my school and you can get in at level 0 of the Freedom Blueprint. So what is that going to do as you begin to increase your energetic frequency? Well, this here is what I would consider the surface level, right? You're going along about your life. You're living from a normal operating system. You've been brought up. You're conditioned through various flavors based upon the time that you're born in, based upon the generation that you grew up with, based upon whether you grew up on internet culture or not, and also where you are in the world. But there are deeper levels of impressions that we have been imprinted upon. Now, in the first instance, as we're doing our sadhana, our spiritual practices, we're increasing our energetic frequency, and frequency penetrates these much, much deeper layers of ourself. I made a video about this. It's on my channel. It's a much deeper dive of how this really happens. But as your frequency penetrates deeper into the subconscious, what that will do is that will reveal to you the emotional backlog, everything that you've repressed, the stuff that you've suppressed inside of your system or blocked out. Maybe that happened in childhood. These don't have to be big T traumas. They can be just ways in which our view of life was altered based upon something that happened to us. Now, as that stuff starts coming up, that leads to emotional turmoil, doesn't it? You feel sad, you feel anxious. It's essentially like PTSD, right? Where nothing is actually happening to you in this moment, but because we've penetrated so deeply our subconscious, that stuff from the past comes up now to be dealt with. And that's great because that starts melting away the deep stuff. But because of our frequency increasing, it allowed the backlog to start processing, which is why you're not in a low vibration. Sometimes we can think we're in a low vibration based upon the states that we feel in our system, isn't it? Based upon our mood. But our mood is not a determinant of our energetic frequency. Because we're penetrating deeply, in the first instance, it can feel like we're moving backwards on the path because so much crap comes out, isn't it? But this is actually a sign that your frequency is increasing. Don't worry, it doesn't go on forever. Okay? So initially, because this is an internal game, we have to stop thinking that increasing our energetic frequency, increasing our vibration is about what happens in the external world. Yeah? Because the external world will actually be a reflection of all of this stored crap that you're processing, because the world will reflect back to you that which is still in your system that needs to be processed. So the external world will not change and won't change for a much, much, much longer time, and it won't happen linearly, but we'll get to that. So as your frequency penetrates this backlog, it will in time, yes, it's going to shift your states and mood right now, but in time it's going to lead to a much lighter state of being. Enlightenment, if you will. So based upon what I've said so far, you might be asking, well, does that mean that I'm not going to get what I want in this life? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this isn't what this path's about. Remember at the start of the video, I said we can have a life in alignment with our soul's deepest desires, right? But what does that really mean? Well, to find out, you'd actually have to start matching the frequency of your soul. You'd have to have that reveal itself to you to find out, wouldn't you? So, how do we do that? Yeah? Well, first, a little bit more in-depth stuff. Because just to recap, right? As your frequency penetrates the deeper substratum of your subconscious mind, sadness, anxiety, etc., all starts to come to the surface. Now, those things have always been in you, subtly influencing, these are mental lenses, so subtly influencing the way that you think. So what we need to do in order to understand what our soul desires in this life is to begin removing these mental lenses, which is what we're doing by increasing our frequency, because that allows us to have more awareness of the subtle ways that our mind is slightly tainted by perspectives, by biases. Right? So what the process of sadhana is doing is removing these mental lenses by increasing the awareness inside of our system. So to understand what our soul's deepest desires is, we have to start matching that frequency. But we can't do that with all of these lenses in the way, because the soul is shining its core vibration, and that's getting refracted, yeah? That light is getting refracted through all of these lenses, and then it becomes very distorted. You see how there's literally no clarity in ourselves. So what we're trying to do is remove these lenses so that we can actually just have the pure light of the soul shine through. Because, and this will be what we've termed intuition, that will be then what your intuition is. Your intuition will begin speaking through you because it's the intuition, your soul, that's giving you guidance. But we ignore it, and it's not our fault. It's just that we're all scattered. Why? Because we have these biases that we're trying to penetrate with our energetic frequency so that we remove them, so that all that's left is the light of our soul or enlightenment. Now, this is super simplistic, but hopefully it gives you a visual understanding of how the bloomin' hell this works, because otherwise it can just be really complex. Spent a long time just making videos, talking to the camera, but I feel like the visual element really gives us an extra layer of sustenance to munch on. Okay, cool. But that can leave us with a deeper, more fear-based question, isn't it? It's like, but what if I do that and my soul, has desires that really I don't desire at all and that I don't want to do? So to describe this and go deeper into why this is actually just a belief and not based in reality, I'm going to remind you of simple physics. Now, your existence, didn't it, came about from a passionate act. I can't draw that image on here, but that which birthed us is passion, isn't it? So could it be that the basis of creative expression of our soul is passion, our motives and what drives us towards that which we want? Now, this really isn't some woo-woo spiritual ideology. This is simple physics. Your birth, the intention that brought you into this world, mummy and daddy had a passionate night. So maybe we could say that the language of our soul is passion, and that feeling of passion that you feel when you're called towards something feels good, doesn't it? If we can take the mind's projection of the exact way that it thinks our life needs to play out, if we can reduce that to the impulse from the soul, which is just passion, it doesn't actually really matter what my life looks like, so long as it's born and continued to sustain through passion, because we like that feeling. You've been in that state. You know that time flows so easily, doesn't it? In that, there's no resistance because it was made for you. Because passion is the key influencer of that which moves you, and that is coming from a deeper place. And that's our soul. Now, this soul is a fragment of creation. You can call it a fragment of God, isn't it? So the intention that God uses to bring you into existence is passion. And to sustain your existence and move through life is passion. Much like plants, they love light, don't they? They love it. There is nobody that's going to tell me that a plant doesn't love light. They frickin' flourish in it. And so they aim for the sun, isn't it? It calls them. It calls them towards the thing that they want the most. That's how I know passion is the driving force of our soul, and that is physics. So then the key for us is to begin acting on our passion, isn't it? And that is what allows us to increase that internal frequency in the external world too. But don't expect linear results, okay? If you're expecting linear results, you are constantly going to be frustrated by this whole process because, as you can see, by the very nature of penetrating your subconscious with deeper frequencies of vibration, things go wrong, not wrong, but the mind could easily say, this is going wrong. I'm going backwards. I'm regressing. And on some level, you kind of are, but you're regressing so that you can heal, so that you can move forward. Kind of makes sense. So it doesn't look linear. Okay. Here is how it really goes. It's quantum. So your increase in vibration, if you want to look at it this way and tie in the external world, is going to get you quantum-based external results in your reality, which means, let's say you're running a business, okay? Like a lot of you are. So you can have linear results, for a while. Your business goes up. But there might be something in your internal game that you still need to look at, which requires you to lose your financial security so that something deeper is able to come, especially if you're on the spiritual path. You can have as much financial security as you want and you'll never look deeper. But we all know you can get absolutely everything that you want in this life and then be miserable. And so sometimes we can lose that financial security. And it can get worse on that level when we're looking at it through that lens. But this isn't something going wrong. Do you see how this isn't linear anymore? We're quantum jumping timelines. Why? So that we can learn the lessons that we need to learn for our soul's evolution, so that it can continue manifesting in the way that God, source, however you want to describe it, intention has for us, which is to serve the whole. And sometimes making a load of money or having linear progression constantly is not the best thing for you, because we miss things. We miss depth. And isn't it true to say that it would be if you knew it was going to be all right in the end, that it would be incredibly passionate and exciting to be able to learn more deeply and understand your inner workings more deeply, which you wouldn't have seen if that abundance track, for example, just kept going up, up, and up. That's the internal game. Increasing your energetic frequency is not linear. It is quantum. And so don't think things are going wrong. It might seem like something is breaking down, but that's part of the process, because the journey in itself is kind of spherical in nature. So you're always heading up, but there are drops and dips. So now that you understand the internal mechanics of the quantum reality of vibration, and we've dropped the linear fantasy, you may want to know how to dissolve these mental patterns. And so I made a video right here that shows you how to create a frequency so strong that your mental patterns, your mental lenses just dissolve. And if you're interested in that one, you can watch that one right there.